Welcome to 200 days of hardcore Minecraft, one of the toughest challenges in the game. In the last video we started building this incredible world from the ground up in the first 100 days. We have defeated the Ender Dragon, we got netherite tools, and we built a dirt house. This time we're gonna do it bigger, better, and more awesome. So let's see the challenges for the 200 days. We're gonna defeat a wither, we are gonna get full netherite armor and weapons, and we're gonna create a massive dirt structure. Also, only a small percentage of people that watch my videos are subscribed, and if you enjoy this video, please consider subscribing. It will mean the world to me, and if you change your mind, you can always unsubscribe after. Alright, enjoy the video. I started with quietly watching day 100 fade away with the sunset. I said hello to everybody, and then it was go time. I figured one of the key elements would be a creeper farm. We have the elytra and it would be the best travel option. So I picked a spot and then started off with building a creeper farm. I found out I barely had any materials left, so I decided to spend some time gathering some stone before continuing the creeper farm. On day 108 it was nearly done and I needed some kitty cats. I decided to go back to the village I found my villager's hat. After I found a couple, I tried to get them back to my land, but unfortunately the cats were too far away to spawn as soon as I hit land, so I needed a new solution. On day 109 I tried looking for a village somewhat closer. I took my remaining rocker fuel and found a village in the desert pretty close. There I found a couple of cats which I then went back with to the base. As the sun was setting, I had to protect my kittens. I was now their daddy. That sounds a little bit weird, but we ended up getting to the base safely. The following days I worked on a creeper farm. This was taking more time than I thought. So on day 112 I decided to go for some caving. If you wanted this thing to work, we had to do some underground work as well. So I took my pickaxe and I went to work. As I was making my way through the caves I came across a lot of danger, and after a lot of killing, finding a couple of diamonds, I returned back home. The creeper farm wasn't working. I didn't know exactly what the problem was because nothing spawned in except during the night, so I figured I did some research. I found out it needed some more space and the walls were letting light go through. I was quite bummed out, but on day 116 I fixed it and managed to get it working. Now, we spent so much time on this thing, it was time for adventure. With already 116 days in, I had set my eyes on the wither. I was hungry for battle, adrenaline, and so I packed my gear and went to the nether. As I was flying through the nether, I got to the stronghold. It was time to battle, and days I spent slamming my diamond sword deeply into the bones of the wither skeletons to get my hands on their heads, and after 2 days, I finally did it. I had achieved 3 wither skeleton heads, and it was now time to prepare for the big fight. With 3 wither skeleton heads in my possession, I was getting close to check off my first goal. Now it was time to prepare. I would need to upgrade my gear if I wanted to defeat this wither. It was time to upgrade the trading hall. I wanted to get some new enchantments for my gear, so I added a new level to the trading hall. Over the course of a couple days, I managed to get the Infinity Book and Feather Falling 4. I then decided to go around and decorate the base a little bit. I added a pathway to the creeper farm that was still barely working, but it now did provide us with some gunpowder. I also wanted to create a new little farm next to the other ones in the base, so I did. I then took my horse for a little ride to go around and ended up finding a new friend. It was now time to continue on the preparations for the Wither. We still needed protection 4 before we would go for the fight. As I was trying to get the book, I decided I wanted to make this Wither fight as epic as possible, above ground, in a closed off circle. I finally got the protection 4 book and I then enchanted all my gear with it. I was now ready. I prepared as much as I could, making golden apples, making potions and getting myself ready for this fight. I wanted to do this far, far away. Far from my own base, and if I would lose, the Wither wouldn't get too close to my base to have a chance of destroying it. I got all my stuff and went inside the Nether. As I was flying, I was thinking about the outcome, but I was excited as well. This was one of the big fights and I was preparing for this a long time, and here we were, facing a massive challenge. I made another portal and ended up in this massive ocean next to a very small island. Perfect. I got plenty of netherite to make a big circle around the island to make it all flat. This way I couldn't get out. I could just imagine myself tripping, not getting out of a hole and lose my hardcore world. And as my heart started to pound more intense, I finished the island at day 129. It was time. I took a moment to look back what I've done so far, but now it was time to rock and roll. As the sun started to rise on day 131, we defeated the Wither, one of the hardest bosses in the game. This was one of the most intense fights I've ever done, and I just, enjoyed the moment. The sun on my skin, wait, that doesn't make any sense, but you get what I mean. Just like the sun, nice, it's nice, you get what I mean, okay? And then it was time to go home, back to my little jungle temple. It was time for the beacon. It had to be placed as soon as possible, so I did. It was beautiful. I put it in the middle of the base for now, and I then decided to make a little AFK spot for the creeper farm. The raids weren't pretty, and I thought this would be a time-saving solution for now. It felt good having the beacon there. Still going on the adrenaline of the Wither fight, I decided I could use some more shulkers. We didn't really do too much of end busting yet, so I figured I'd go from one adventure to another. I went to go back to the end. I went to loot the first end city, and with getting a couple of shulkers, I thought I'd look for another one, so we would be set for a little while. When finding a new one, I started battling the shulkers accidentally, looking 2 endermen in the eyes. After defeating the first shulker, they ran in. After defeating the first one, the second one gave me no time, and I was struggling to survive. I quickly managed to get him trapped, and I was lucky. One more hit and I would die. I managed to kill him and live another day, and I quickly went on looting the end city and went home. Enough was enough. It was time to calm down a little bit. I remembered I had to make a massive dirt structure, and after long thinking, I came up with something. We would create something huge that would fit in with the environment. A terraformed biostructure. I made the plans and I collected everything, and you know the drill. We had to build. So let's go. On day 147, the main structure was done. I wanted to create a couple farms such as sugarcane, pumpkins and melons, as well as having a couple of animals in there if I would need anything. After a couple days of work, it was finished. Halfway towards the 200 days, I really enjoyed creating this build. We had now finished 2 out of 3 goals. I figured I'd continue to AFK at my creeper farm for a little bit to gather some TNT to mine in the nether. So that's what I did, and after a couple of days of AFKing, it was now time to hunt down goal number 3. Day 153, I prepared myself some TNT. I never really mined with TNT before, so I didn't really know what I was going for. As I went to the nether, I sat back, I lit up some TNT and just went to go with the flow. After everything blew up to pieces, I found exactly 14 pieces of ancient debris. We were nearly there, so I left it for a little bit. I was more in a building mood and with no proper house for myself yet. Well, if you know this track, you know what's about to happen. The following days I spent some more time decorating the house. This was going to be somewhat more of a trophy house with all kinds of relics. Pieces of armor, weapons, and just a place to chill in and look back at our achievements. With open windows, I wanted this to feel like a proper jungle house. I was just loving this style, and after a little bit I went to AFK a bit more to gather up some TNT. We had one goal to finish and I returned to the nether and blew up some more stuff. By the way, this is way more fun than mining. I never used TNT before. I blew up some more stuff and I ended up getting the remaining pieces of ancient debris. And then on day 168 I achieved the last goal. Full netherite armor and weapons. We achieved all goals. It felt good. We had so much time left. So I spent time thinking while repairing all the tools. First, I just wanted to decorate the creeper farm. This thing was looking so ugly, so I've been avoiding this thing for ages. So I just added some stuff and I thought it looked good for now. So that was that, okay. But now, we had all this strong gear. So I thought it was time to use it. I wanted to do a raid, which would be very dangerous, but with infinity on my bow and another little plan I had, I knew I could do it. This was going to be another great risk, but I knew I could do it. So I took the remaining rockets and went to search for a pillager outpost, something I had not seen before. I spent days flying around looking for this pillager outpost. I found many villages, even some desert temples, but no pillager outpost. I spent such a long time flying, I even had to repair my elytra in between trips. And then after a long time, I finally found it. So I went looking for the raid captain, and as I killed him I got the bad omen. This was it, the moment of truth. I flew back to the village I passed earlier, and as I entered, the raid immediately spawned. It was time for my plan, so I spawned a couple of my metal friends to help me out. And then it was time to show this raid who is boss. With fireworks going into the air, we had defeated the raid. With losing a couple of iron golems, we made sure to avenge them, and it was glorious. I returned home to tell my own villagers the good news, and I bought some cheap enchantment books. We still had a lot of time left. What will be next? Another adventure? Another build? The options were there and I just wandered around for a day to think what will be next. We didn't really touch the nether yet, and one thing that came to mind is that we were just using a default nether portal. It sure could use an upgrade, so I went looking for a nice spot. I cleared out some space, and I started this new project. The outcome of this thing was perfect, just as I imagined, with little statues, a cool looking creeper entrance to the nether. The vibe was just as I pictured it to be. Now I just finished this building. I wanted to do another raid. That was pretty fun because I wanted to get a crossbow. Unfortunately the video file where 3 hours of footage got corrupt, and in the end I did manage to get a crossbow, but I was really bummed out of the video file getting corrupt, so I'm really sorry about that. After I returned to my world, I was still alive, luckily, and after that I tried to redesign my villager zombification system, and we had a success. We now had a system to get discounts for my villagers. We were getting closer to the end, and I decided, let's make a new map. Let's make a map for the 200 days. I came up with an idea. Let's make a temple of maps, something we could work on every 100 days to see a new version of the world as we progress. We had a mountain nearby and I was digging out everything and added the first map of the 100 days. After that I added the 200 days as well. We still had a little bit of time left, but I thought let's add it right away. We had about 4 days left. I figured I'd make an entrance to the creeper farm and also start repairing all my gear. As soon as everything was repaired, I went to the temple. On day 198, I went inside the temple. I was just looking at my dirt house and I figured let's upgrade this thing. I added a little oasis around the dirt house. On day 199, we had 1 day left. I did tidy up the base a little bit and I felt I needed some more company, so to end it off, I went looking for some dogs. This was taking a little bit more time than I thought, and as soon as I was giving up hope, I found a pack. I now had to walk back to my base, the race for the sunrise, and as I started to get closer to the base, I saw the sun rising. The 200 days were about to complete. And while I didn't see the sunrise from the treehouse, I did end up making it with all the dogs, and we were now done. 200 days of hardcore Minecraft. We did it, guys, and thank you for the ongoing support. It has been overwhelming. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe and like the video. I also have a little Discord channel, feel free to join in and say hi. Let's create our own little community here. Well, I'll see you guys soon. There are a lot of cool videos coming your way, and make sure to check that out. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. This was 200 Days of Hardcore Minecraft.